So what does this mean if you decide to throw a Super Bowl party? What do you need to look out for, Michael?
Well, in general, what you look at in terms of parties, you're talking about, alcohol liability here. In Alabama, there's some, pretty stringent liability or rules and laws that affect people that have licenses to sell alcohol, which is bars and things like that. But with regard to social host liability, it's fairly limited in terms of the law in Alabama. So that if you serve alcoholic beverages at your house, you're not going to be strictly liable for anything that negatively results as a result of you giving alcoholic beverages away. However, if you give them to a minor, you can be both criminally and civilly liable for a problem. So make sure that if anybody's consuming at your Super Bowl party, they are of age and that they are able to do that. Also, it's a good idea to make sure that if somebody is overserved or overindulges, that you take appropriate precautions. Give them a ride home. Give them an Uber. Don't tell somebody you're going to take their keys and then not take their keys and let them drive. That way, you could get yourself in trouble. But all in all, try to be safe and enjoy the games.
I do believe we have a call right now. Did I understand Barbara?
Yes. Barbara's on the line. Good morning, Barbara. You can go ahead with your question.
Yes. I want to know what the legal thing is now. It used to be 7 years, and I heard it changed from, like, if you had to go to the nursing home, that they could take your home. Like, if I signed it over now, within 7 years, could they still get it if I signed it to somebody?
Well, what you're talking about is who is going to pay for long-term care in Alabama. And long-term care is not going to be covered by Medicare. So if you don't have enough personal assets to pay for long-term care in a nursing home, then you're going to look to Medicaid to pay for that care. In order to have Medicaid pay for the care, you have to have assets and a household income of less than $2,000 a month. There is a 5-year look-back period that Medicaid uses in order to determine whether you have assets. So if you pass away assets and then 5 years later you try to qualify for Medicaid, they will not look at the transfer of the assets 5 years ago. This is kind of a complex thing, so I would encourage you to talk with a lawyer that does elder law so that they can look at your entire estate and figure out the best way for you to move assets or try to do things to qualify you for Medicaid if you should need it in the future.
All right, 256-536-0077 to get your questions answered. Let's go back to the phone lines. Renee, standing by. Good morning, Renee.
Hello. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. I have a question about my roof. I have wind and hail damage, and I'm not going to mention the insurance company, but they only wanted to patch it. And I told them, I said, that's going to lower my property value. So then they said they would cover half of the roof, but I would have to pay for the other half. I mean, isn't that what we pay insurance for, is when accidents or things out of our control happen?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you have insurance for. The question is, seems to me, what is the scope of the damage that was caused by the wind and the rain? And it can differ depending upon whether you have replacement value insurance or actual value insurance for the repairs. Replacement will pay for the entirety of the roof regardless of whether it's depreciated or whether it's old. If it's actual cash value, then it will pay for the value of the roof less what the number of years it's been depreciated. So it can get kind of complicated there. But if the damage was only to a certain portion of the roof and the remainder of the roof is okay, the insurance company does have a right to say, we'll fix the part that was damaged, but we don't have any obligation to fix the other part. If you want to replace the whole roof at that time, that would be your obligations.